Hello. We've got to not use that intro video again until we've redone it.
Yeah,
It is
very much desperately, badly. That's not me anymore.
I mean, I'm wearing a knitted jumper in that.
Yes.
I think that was kind of, I think about 18 months ago, I bashed that together in 10 minutes using some pictures from the internet. And yeah, it's funny how temporary solutions always last the longest time. So hello, folks. So yes, welcome to so the regular weekly podcast is on hold, probably for the main reason that it became quite difficult to spontaneously do an hour of fun and upbeat stuff when the world is being so relentlessly not that. And
yes,
I'm one of those people who is old-fashioned enough to think that authenticity counts for something. But this is something a little bit different. So apparently AI is a thing. And I have spent, let us put this in a little bit of context. I am out of my depth. I have done a reasonable job over the past, how long is it since 1986?
40 years.
Yeah, I have spent the last, no, it's not. That's not possible.
Yes, it is.
I have spent the last 40 years feeling like I have been doing a reasonable job at keeping up with how people make computer go beep, beep, boop, boop, and ideally create value and revenue out of doing this. And, you know, there have been, like, I never learned Silverlight. I just went, meh, now that might be relevant in a couple of years. And sure enough, it wasn't. And I think I dodged a rabbit hole on that one.
Yes.
But, you know, I've also learned rabbit holes along the way, but it has got to the point where, because I no longer spend all day, every day at a desk writing code for money, which I did for a lot of those 40 years, when I need to solve a problem, I write code. And when I create workshops that I run and teach people how to do stuff, I write code. And, you know, I have a couple of projects which are real things that real people use to do real stuff, but none of them is a full-time job. And AI has... The perception that I have from watching conference talks and talking to people and reading the press is AI has moved so unbelievably quickly that taking my eye off the ball for 3 months means I should now just go and get a job in a shop, because my skills are useless here, and everything I know how to do, you can vibe code it now in 10 minutes using WhatsApp on your phone. And as long as you've got a Mac Mini to run it on, it'll actually set it up. And I don't believe this is accurate, but I fear there is enough truth in it that it's not just going to go away by itself like NFTs and the metaverse did. Yes. And since it seems both of us have a little bit of time on our hands at the moment, thanks to the market being so relentlessly hungry for our skills,
I am available for work.
Yes, I'm always available
and
for
workshops.
Work, except in the mornings. I don't really do early in the mornings in February.
Oh, I do mornings.
Which is weirdo. So yeah, so I pinged Rendle yesterday and I was like, would you be up for just getting on Twitch or something and doing this is Claude Code? Now, my kind of the context for this, because you did a talk, didn't you, at NDC London? A couple of
NDC London, yes.
Which
how I tamed Claude.
How I tamed Claude, which opens with you going, if I'd done this talk on Wednesday, it would have been a different talk, but it's Friday now. And
yes.
So that thing's not a thing anymore. And what is it? You're not using WebMCP, you're using Skills or something. Or
yes. So when I submitted the talk, all the way back in like July last year, whenever it was, whenever the call for papers closed, I was using a thing called CC Sessions and various other plugins and various techniques to work with Claude. And generally what you mean when you talk about kind of like making Claude work better is context. And what you need is, so all LLMs, all AIs have a context window, which is a number of tokens that they can build up to, and then that's it. It's done. It can't do any more stuff. And they vary. So Google Gemini, for example, is like 1 million tokens. That's a really big context window. Claude is 200,000.
Yeah.
And
the tokens here are so my sort of academic reading on all of this, just in case anybody else is watching this going, I don't know what any of these things are, is at some point they being the people who do the research and the things, figured out that you can take lots and lots of text and feed it into a thing that analyzes it and creates a database of embeddings that is so the best example of this that I've heard, and that means it may not be correct because it's quite easy to remember, is it allows you to do expressions like car minus road plus C equals boat. And
yes.
Little nuggets, tokens of semantic significance, and kind of add. And so if you add this one to that one to that one, you end up over here, and then the nearest token to that will logically be the next most probable token in that stream.
Yes.
And you shuffle it a little bit, and this is what they call temperature, and you get a little bit of randomness, which makes it look intelligent, so it's not just doing the same thing every time, but actually it is doing the same thing every time, just with a little roll of the dice. And then it sort of seems to me like there was just this holy shit moment where they went, well, if instead of doing it on a two-dimensional graph of car, boat, land, sea, we did it on a 287-dimensional graph with 1 trillion tokens. Oh, wow, look at that. Now it can speak English and write Python and...
Yes, something resembling intelligence pops out.
Yes.
So we don't really... there are people who know why. None of those people are very good at explaining it to people who don't know why. But it is very much a black box. So when we talk about a given model, so thinking about Claude, you've got 3 models: Haiku, Sonnet, and Opus. What you're actually talking about there is basically just a bunch of files, and those files just contain a massive list of vectors of floating point numbers. I think they're 16-bit floating point numbers, and that's it.
And a vector,
that's all it is.
So in like high school geometry, a vector is like X and Y. It takes you here to there. And then when you do 3D graphics, a vector is X, Y, Z. And
that's
then they're like, well, it doesn't need to be 3. It can be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can put as many. So a vector is just an array of numbers.
Yes. And in C++, they have a vector type. Which is kind of like a wrapper over an array, except it allows you to resize it.
Could conceptually indicate a directions to a point in higher dimensional space, but actually that's not the point. All it does is it's a bunch of numbers.
Yes.
And you can, if they're the same size, you can add them and subtract them, and you can do maths with them and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So, right. So far, so good.
So anyway, you've got your context window. So I'm actually, oh, wow, I can rewind back to what we were talking about. That never happens. So yes, Claude, for example, has can hold 200,000 of these things in memory. And you can sort of think of that like our conscious working memory, where we can hold 7 or 8 things. This is why you can just about remember a phone number. But once it hits that limit, and actually a thing with Claude, and we'll probably come back to this, is once it gets past about half of that, actually past about 120,000 tokens, you start to get something called context rot. So you get to this point.
To put that in perspective, so I've just Googled word count Lord of the Rings. And the Lord of the Rings trilogy is about 480,000 words, which means by the time Gandalf the White pops up, Claude has forgotten that Tom Bombadil ever existed.
Well, no, Claude has actually
that's the size of the...
It's not a rolling window, so it doesn't forget the things at the start. It just goes, no, context is full. And then it does this thing called compacting. Where it sort of makes notes and crunches things down, but then it loses a lot of precision. And then if you think about it, if it then reads the next 200,000 words of Lord of the Rings, it's only got 18,000 words to go, but it's still filled up again. And it won't be able to fit all of those because it's got a compacted version of its previous code. So now it runs a compaction again, and now it's got to this bit where it thinks like Hobbiton is a suburb of Rivendell or something, because that was right back at the start of the book. So what you need to do is you need to find a way for Claude to keep context about a project externally, so that it can then load it back in. So you can stop a Claude session and start a new one, or you can clear the context. There's a command in the thing called /clear, which does the same thing, although for some reason I don't trust it and I always exit and restart. But anyway, and then you have instructions to say, okay, this is what we're doing, this is where we are, and all this sort of thing. And there are lots of different ways of doing that. So that's one of the key points of my talk. CC sessions was a way of doing that. Claude context sessions, or Claude Code sessions, whatever it was supposed to be. But since then, spec-driven development has become much more of a thing. And there is a brilliant Claude plugin called OpenSpec that I use. The fun thing with the talk was literally on the Wednesday of that week, with no warning whatsoever, unless I suppose you've been following their GitHub repo, but I wasn't. They went, we've released a 1.0 of OpenSpec, and it's much, much better, but it's also completely different. And it is. I've since then, obviously, I've actually had a chance to sit down and use it. It is a lot better. I mean, it's really, really good, and it's absolutely my favorite way of doing this stuff.
If anybody, by the way, has ever wondered why I like to write conference talks, which are like, here's an interesting thing that happened in 1967, it's because that still happened in 1967, and they don't release History 1.1 on Thursday morning when your talk is in the afternoon. I mean, not most of the time, anyway.
Beauty and Code, where we are both speaking on the 7th of March. In Malmo. I gave them free choice of which of my talks they wanted me to do, and they chose futurology. The last time I did that was 2 or 3 years ago, and it's like, what do I think the next 2 or 3? And so it's got this bit about AI in there. It's kind of like, lol, look at this vibe coder whose site is under attack. And isn't it all rubbish? And now I'm kind of like going, I honestly have no idea 35 years from now, everything, but a lot of it. Have you seen meta surfaces? No. Okay, so this is completely off topic, but you know, that's fun. There's a YouTuber that I follow called Anastasia in Tech. And she is a silicon engineer, so she knows sort of what she's talking about with these things, and she's always talking about new developments in chips and all this kind of thing. So AI at the moment runs on lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of GPUs. And we can build we can make GPUs, and we're improving yield and all that sort of stuff. But the other problem that we have is they also use a lot of energy. And I mean, they're building like 5 gigawatt data centers just to try and keep up with this. Anyway, it turns out that there is a thing called a metasurface, which is a lump of glass into which is etched at like silicon levels of precision, just patterns and pathways and all this kind of thing. And so you can encode something into this meta surface such that when you shine light on it, more light comes out, and it's gone through processing and all this sort of stuff. And so you could actually etch a neural network model like Opus onto a piece of glass and then shine light on it that represented the input, and it would just instantly, because light is very fast, much faster than electrons moving through silicon, bounce out more light, which was the output tokens. And
so basically, it's an optical circuit.
It's an optical circuit.
You put in certain inputs, you get certain outputs.
Yes.
But using optics instead of transistors.
Yes. Now, the thing that up until now has made this unusable for this purpose is that to change the code, you need to re-etch the entire surface. Except now a company called Kai something has come up with reconfigurable optical metasurfaces. So it's kind of like that plus EEPROM. Or field programmable gate arrays or something. So, and the huge advantage to this is that energy use doesn't scale with the size of the surface, whereas energy use scales with the size of a chip die, the silicon wafer, whatever it is. But this thing, the edge where you put the light in stays the same size. It's just the area of the thing between that and the other edge where light comes back out changes, but you're still just blasting in the same quantity of light. It doesn't use any more energy just to bounce through all these things, because where are the photons going to go? So anyway, this is the next generation of, this is how we're going to solve the energy use problem. It also generates way less heat.
Yeah.
So it's good in all the ways, really. But also, people are just, the cleverness of people is just blowing my mind lately. Okay, anyway.
Right. Let's make it go.
Yes, all right.
Yeah.
So, to start off with, you're going to go to...
First.
Yes.
Can I remember how to do that? Yes. Share screen is easiest with 2 monitors. I have 7 monitors. Entire screen. That one? Yeah, that one. All right.
Okay. So you're going to get your lovely browser and you're going to go to Claude.ai. There we go.
I can't spell AI. Is that going to be a problem today?
It could be. No, so I think that may possibly be.
Context for viewers, I have nothing. Like, I have Copilot. I use Copilot in VS Code and in Visual Studio. And I'm not entirely sure who's paying for it. I think it's a Microsoft MVP, or maybe it's something that I get with my GitHub subscription. But I have all these models pop up that I don't know where they came from or who's picking up the bill. So, yes. But yeah, anyway, but I have never, I've never Clauded before. I other than selecting it in a drop-down menu, this is the furthest I've ever got with this particular bit.
Yeah.
So
you basically want to click try Claude or
try Claude. Yeah. Okay. Yep. It wants an email. We can give it an email. Yeah, there we
go. And then that's going to send you a link.
Ooh,
with a verification code in it.
Spam and quarantine. Okay, there we go. I have a link which is over there, so you can't see my email. Whee. Okay. Accept.
Okay.
Do I want to try Sonnet 4.6?
Yes.
Okay. Do I want to accept all cookies? Yes.
Yes.
How does it know I'm called Dylan?
It got it from your email address.
All right.
I'm guessing. All right. Now, down at the bottom left, it says DB.
Yep.
And then you're going to go into settings.
Yep.
And billing or account. Right, so there you go. Yep. That's your free plan. Now, to use Claude Code, you're going to want to upgrade your plan.
Okay.
So you can click the upgrade plan button.
Over there, and I'm going to upgrade my plan. And just don't you love the month billed annually? Like, I want to get in on that action. Like I want to sell things for 11 pence a second, billed by the decade. So yes, I'm going to go I'm going to go monthly. And which one do I need? A pro plan.
There are 3 plans for Claude.
Yes.
There's Pro.
Yep.
And then there are 2 Maxes.
Yep.
And actually, it's fun. Click on the Get Max plan. I'm not necessarily saying you should get Max. You can upgrade later if you need to. But yes. So if you look at the prices, it's showing you on there.
Yep.
Oh no. Okay, that's weird. When I do this, it said that the other way round. But yes, it's kind of like £75 a month plus tax, which is £90 a month.
When it says usage, this is just at some point it says you can't do any more Clauding today, this month. How's the quota calculated? Is it monthly, daily?
It's tokens per period of time.
Okay.
So, for example, I was using Claude a couple of hours ago. And I burned through my tokens at an astonishing rate using something I will tell you about, but not recommend you use. And it went, you're done now until 5 o'clock.
Was it
Ralph?
At
5 o'clock, it wasn't Ralph. It was a thing called Get Shit Done.
Okay.
So yes, anyway. If you're going to actually use this in anger to do anything in the real sense, it's worth splashing for the £180 a month max. You essentially, you get to a point where you've got multiple things running on multiple Claudes.
Yes.
But for now, let's just go with Pro. You can upgrade later.
Okay.
And just change it to monthly so that it's 18.
I'm going to put that over there. I'm going to switch to monthly. I'm going to get the Pro plan. I am actually going to switch off screen sharing while I do this because of a certain degree of paranoia about the wrong thing getting dragged across the wrong window.
Oh, I think that's a superb idea, yes.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Yes. Pro plan, £15 a month. Yes, that's fine. Yeah, I agree. Oh, hang on, I need to tell it. Yeah, that'll do. Oof. Welcome to Pro.
There you go.
Magic. Okay. Right. So I have I've given it £15 plus VAT, and we'll see how far that gets us.
Yes. So you see now Claude Code has appeared down at the bottom of your settings list there. So you can click that.
Yep.
And click the install instructions here.
Yep.
Link, which will take you to code.claude.com. And then if you scroll down to there's a bit where it says native install recommended.
Yes.
And I don't know what are you running on Mac?
Windows and PowerShell will be my place for this.
Okay, so then you want to copy that thing there.
Yep. YOLO.
I once did this on a stream with something that somebody pasted into the chat and piped to sudo bash. He said he was from Railway, and I believed him.
While this is going on, just out of curiosity,
Railway.
Let's see exactly what I have just let rip on my system here. Dum. I'm sure that's all fine.
Yes. So what it is actually doing is
invoke web request, GCS bucket version platform Claude.exe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, it's doing something different than it does on Mac.
Well, it was probably vibe coded when I clicked the button, so
it probably was.
Yeah.
No, so it used to be an npm package. You used to do npm install Anthropic AI/Claude.
I'm very happy that it isn't.
It's, I think, under the covers, it's probably still the same code.
Yeah.
I also have reason to suspect it's written in, well, they're using Bun as a runtime now instead of
all right, so what do we got?
Because they own Bun.
Claude Code successfully installed. Version in, run Claude manifest. Native installation exists, but C users dylan.local bin is not in your path. All right, let's add that. Okay. No, I'm not going to put that on that screen. I'm going to put that over here. I might have things in.
That's where your API keys and things live.
Yeah. It's one of those sort of slightly dumb things, because when you go into environment variables in Windows, it says, do you want to edit the ones for the user or the ones for the system? And you say system, and it brings up the same dialogue as it does for user, which has both of them on the same screen, one above the other, which is this screen, and which does not currently have anything sensitive in the in scope there. Right, what do I need to do? I want to add it to the path. I do quite like these little details where it's like we're doing this incredibly cutting edge, like did not exist 6 months ago thing. And to get it to work, I have to do something that I learned how to do on MS-DOS 3.3 because some stuff just doesn't change. Right, restart your terminal. All right.
Okay, so now you're going to type Claude.
Oh, look at all the help.
I know.
I feel so helped by that screen. It's like, welcome to Grub. Press M to quit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah, there are good reasons why it has all this sort of stuff, because generally you use it interactively, but there are ways to automate it, and you can sort of do cat prompt.md pipe to Claude and all this sort of thing, and so you have these various outputs. So you are going to just run Claude, and it will, there you go. So you choose dark mode.
Yep.
And you do Claude account with subscription.
I'm just seeing what the other
just
options
press enter.
Here are. So, okay, yep.
So yeah, those options there.
Yeah, okay, that's all very nice. Build something great. You can now close this window. Okay, bye-bye window.
Yeah. And then go back to Claude and just press enter.
Claude can make mistakes. Well, can't we?
Yes.
All? Is that Claude there? Is that little guy? Is that Claude?
That's this is my understanding.
Okay.
Of it, yes, that is Claude. He's like a. It looks more like Cthulhu than anything else to me. Just Cthulhu with a limited number of tentacles because they are low resolution.
There's definitely a whole Space Invader kind of vibe going on here.
Yes.
They do know that we've got better graphics since then. Like,
there's a whole thing about it running in the terminal. It's very odd.
We can show actual, like, 10-bit color images in the terminal now.
Well, yes, we can, but
all right.
They don't want to.
I'm sorry, I'm being cynical.
It's much more fun.
It is. Right. Press enter to continue.
So, yes, press enter to continue. So, yeah. Okay, I would probably say no exit to that one.
Yes.
And then make a directory for whatever.
Yep.
And CD into that one.
Yep.
And then start Claude again. So yes, I trust this folder.
I trust this folder.
Okay. Now,
all right.
The first thing we do is we say /models. So you type /models. So just model space. And then type SON.
I'm going to press enter because I want to see what happens.
Oh, default. There you go. So just do that.
Okay, cool. All right.
Okay. So then
default is recommended. So at the moment, so Sonnet, Opus, and Haiku are the names of the models.
Yes.
And Sonnet is the default.
Yes.
And then Opus is for complex work and Haiku is for quick answers.
Yes.
So at this point, sort of I'm making an arbitrary decision on whether what I'm doing today is everyday, complex, or quick. So we may as well just go with the default. But then if at some point the default can't cope, we upgrade to Opus. And if at some point the default takes too long, we go for Haiku.
You very rarely use Haiku.
Okay.
Certainly in code.
Okay.
What I do is
and there's a thing called effort here.
Yes. I really wish that was called maximum effort. So yes, put it on medium effort. So all these things are something that you adjust.
Yeah. And presumably all of this, just the most immediate impact is how fast you burn through your token quota.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So if you put it on medium effort and Sonnet.
It says high effort is the default. Should we stick with the defaults for today?
Well, let's stick with the defaults for today.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
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 So yes, to just cover that off, Opus is really good for gathering requirements and writing specifications.
Yeah.
And Sonnet is really good for turning those specifications into code.
Okay.
That is the most efficient use, unless you have the £180/$200 a month max plan, in which case Opus 4.6 high effort is just, why not?
Yeah. All right.
There's an environmental impact, but when isn't there? So yes, 4.6 is new, by the way. Yep. So Opus 4.6 was a couple of weeks ago. Sonnet 4.6, I think, came out yesterday.
All right. Right. I'm going to play for a little bit because at this point, I'm like, right. And it says, ask Claude to create a new app or clone a new repository. So I'm going to do that. Please, do we say please? I think it's nice to be polite.
Weirdly, we do say please.
Even though it burns a rainforest every time it has to pass you being polite.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess you can't make an omelet. Look, it's booping. Okay.
It is booping.
What kind of app do you want to create? Oh, the first thing it says is React, because obviously it's got to be in React.
Well, no, it will do. So I have a thing that I'm working on at the moment where I very specifically said no frameworks, it's vanilla JavaScript, and it's doing it quite happily. So
when we were chatting before we turned on the stream today, there are two scenarios that I'm interested in kicking out here. One of them is how well will it replicate something that I know I could build to a very high standard myself, which is an ASP.NET MVC or, ASP.NET Razor, some sort of ASP.NET web application, which pulls in data from session eyes and displays it in a grid, because something that I would really like to have at more conferences is a thing on my phone screen that looks more like the bit of paper that they used to give out, showing you all the tracks and things. The other one is something that I'm pretty sure it would take me months to do the groundwork for, which is a high fidelity desktop media player that will synchronize multiple WAV and MP3 file. Basically, it lets you mix tracks of music and play them back in real time, and we'll be able to play multiple videos onto multiple screens. And I guess at this point, do we flip a coin for which one of those do you think would be most fun?
I mean, the second one would be most fun, but I think let's do the first one. Let's do the NDC thing.
Yeah, all right.
And we can do that in a vibe codey sort of way. And then we'll discover the limitations of vibe coding. And then we can maybe, if we do another session tomorrow, we can come back and we can do a more sort of structured approach to building the desktop application.
Yeah, all right.
So yes, just go with web app.
Web app. I'll describe it.
Yes, because it's not any of the three things.
What is the purpose of the web app? I want to display a conference agenda based on information pulled from Sessionize's JSON endpoint. Well, yeah, that'll do for now. Do I have a Sessionize API endpoint? I can get one of those.
Yes, grab one.
Well, they have a Sessionize API. So interesting thing about Sessionize API is that their API has no authentication at all, because they're like, look, the only data we make available is stuff you're going to put on your website anyway.
Interesting.
There is a yeah, so there's no authentication. It's quite an interesting sort of context. Here's what the JSON, our demo event, will do. So we want all data.
Schedule grid.
So I'm just going to check what these actually give you. Yeah, all right. Let's grab that one. Okay. So do you have a Sessionize endpoint or event?
So you say yes. So you press enter to say that.
Which tech stack do you prefer? I want to see how well it does with ASP.NET Core. Yeah?
Yep. So yeah, you can just paste the URL now.
Yep. Also, a quick question about ASP.NET MVC. I did not answer the quick question.
No, don't worry, we'll come back to it.
Okay, good. Yeah, Razor Pages, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Microsoft's recommended thing for this kind of thing, isn't it?
Razor Pages is so good.
It is very good.
It's like it took classic ASP 25 years and it got good.
So this is an important Claude sort of common thing. You're giving it permissions. You are specifically giving it these permissions when it is running in this directory. Okay. So when it's running in Claude. In D.
I should have called that directory something else, shouldn't I?
Yes, but it'll do for now.
Yeah, okay.
But yes, and actually it doesn't matter what the directory is called. If you rename the directory and then CD back into it, everything is stored in the directory, so you can do stuff with it. So you can either say yes or yes and don't ask again for sessionize.com. All right. What happens, it also puts in
because this
the
this is the point where decades of software engineering experience has taught me to acknowledge the point at which something has the wrong name and to fix it now, because the longer you leave it, the more likely it is that it will never get renamed. So what happens if I Control-C out of this now, and I go back up to there, and I rename Claude to be, let's call it Claude Demo Hack. And then we go into there, and then we run Claude. Is it going to remember? Okay, so that's good. It clearly has a list somewhere else of the trusted folders. Yep. Okay, so yes, I trust this folder. All right. Now, what if I say, where were we? There is definitely a recurring thing in playing around with AI and chat tools and things. And, oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
Why does it think it's on SIG drive?
Because it is.
But it's not.
It is. It's not running natively on Windows. It's running in a container.
Oh. That's fun. Okay.
So yes, you say yes to that.
Yep.
So no, it is running in a lightweight container. It's not Docker. It's just a kind of custom lightweight VM sort of thing. But it knows it's running Linux. It knows what version of various Linux things it's got, like Bash and stuff.
That's interesting.
So there you go. That's
okay.
I'd just say yes to that one.
Don't ask again. It can do what it wants in that folder.
Okay.
Interesting.
So it has no memory.
Okay, so nothing ever got persisted?
No.
Okay, let's build something. Web app. Yes. Something else. So if I say I want an ASP.NET Core web application
Razor Pages
using Razor Pages, which will display sessionize conference schedule data in a grid. I'm curious, is it going to go, okay, that means that we know what tech stack you want and what view engine you want. And do you have a session ID? Yes, I'll provide it. I'd like .NET 10, please.
And a CSS framework?
And no other frameworks.
There you go, that'll do.
What's your sessionize event ID? If I just give it the entire thing, hang on. Did you know you can drag and drop image files into your terminal?
Yeah, so I think that JL4KTLS0.
Yeah, that's the ID there.
The thing,
yes.
Yes, don't ask again.
I'm going to keep it on for now just because I want to know every time it does it.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, yes. Don't ask again. Yeah, that's fine. .NET New Razor, -N is the project name, -O is the output folder, and no HTTPS probably makes sense. Yeah, do that. Okay. Didn't it just do that?
I thought so, but just whatever.
Just hang on. I'm curious. All right, it hasn't actually created anything yet. Okay. Yep, that's fine. Do that.
Okay. It's trying to figure out how to run .NET. There we go. Now it's managed to get it.
It is possible. My terminal setup is a little idiosyncratic because it's PowerShell with oh my posh inside a Windows terminal, which is not Bash and is not Windows CMD.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's see. All right, that has now created a folder.
Yeah. See, I have only used Claude on a Mac.
Yeah.
I honestly just have no idea. God, I can't remember the last time I used Windows for anything except playing games.
Yeah, but Windows is great. Windows runs Microsoft Visio, which is one of the tools you will pry from my cold dead hands, because there is a definite continuum of I need to make some art now, and there is a gap where you don't want Illustrator, but PowerPoint isn't good enough, and Visio fits into that gap so perfectly neatly. Actually, the thing that has kept me on Windows for the longest time is NCrunch, which is the continuous test runner for .NET, which it now runs in Rider, but only on Windows. But for a long time, that only ran on actual Microsoft Visual Studio, and is one of my, like, please do not make me write code without this. I find the feedback loop with it absolutely just, game-changing when it comes to productivity.
Yes.
All right.
Fair enough.
So, no, I ran macOS pretty much exclusively for about 2 years, when all of the paid work I was doing was Ruby, and .NET was good enough that it ran on a Mac, and DataGrip was good enough that you could get into databases, and I had a VM in the cloud for everything else. But I just kind of missed it,
So yes, Lord only knows what it's doing now.
It's adding models and service. You got to have services.
Yes.
It's like bypasses. You can't not have services.
It's taking its sweet time. It's architecting the thing properly, though, obviously.
Well,
let's see what people are saying in the chat while we're waiting.
Oh, yeah, I haven't looked at the chat.
Yes. Ask what it thinks about your Rockstar source code. That is quite fun, actually. Oh, there we go. Right, so this is the really fun bit, where it kind of, it just classifies edits as, just all edits. So now you're basically saying you can edit all the files, you can create whatever files you want and all this sort of thing. And so, you either kind of continue to approve it on a file-by-file basis, or
I'm looking at the chat. So the key thing in the chat is Dougal and Heather. Oh, hey, Heather. Welcome. Both said you should use /resume to continue the memory of the session. Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sorry.
Okay.
I forgot that because I use OpenSpec, which just lets you resume automatically.
So this is just a very kind of noddy data model for all the things that the sessionized data endpoint exposes.
Yes.
All right.
One thing I do like is it seems to know about nullability, and so it hasn't made the properties nullable, and it has applied default values to all of them, which is quite nice. I don't know where it's got that from, but it does generally.
Now, there's one. So I'm just going to side by side the hell is that? Since when did Chrome have side by side things? Okay. So I suspect that this sort of let's look at this thing next alongside that thing and compare them is exactly the sort of thing that vibe coders don't do, because it would slow everything down. But I actually want to take a look at, so room ID 215. So room ID, that is an int, so that's all right. Name is a string, that's fine. Session ID is a string, which is good because Sessionize uses numbers inside strings to identify sessions. It's got the start set and end set as strings in here, even though those are zoned date times in the JSON output, which is probably it's where my spidey sense is going. That's gonna fuck you up in about 3 days' time.
Yes,
because time zones is very much an important thing. But let's roll with it and see what happens. Okay. Do I want to create sessionized service? Yeah. Okay, that's. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looks good to me.
Yep. 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 Yep.
How does coding with Claude interact with ADHD? Is the waiting torturous? Couple of weeks ago, how does my hello camera? Why has my camera decided it wants to? You come here, look at me.
I think it just moved. Yeah, we see you.
Right.
ADHD.
Yeah, ADHD.
You were in the middle of talking about ADHD, and then you got distracted.
I was in the middle of talking about ADHD, and then I got distracted by my camera not being looking
Squirrel!
at me. The other day, I had 3 tabs open. 2 of them running Claude with OpenSpec, and 1 of them running Claude with a thing called Get Shit Done.
Yeah.
And just building stuff. And it is exhausting, is what it is. And I don't know how much the ADHD is affecting that, but it is, you have got all this context in your head, and it's really difficult to describe until you've done it, and specifically until you've had like at least 2 sessions going. If you think what it's like trying to work on 2 bits of code at the same time and just like tab between them, or maybe you've got like long running code like batch processes, and so you've got one thing where you're running a batch process or a build. Actually, there you go. There's a fantastic thing. When you've got one of those GitHub builds that takes 45 minutes to run. And so you can't work on that code because it's currently going through the build process and everything. And so you go, well, I'll spend this time working on another piece of code. And so your brain is switching between those 2 contexts. So it's like that, but shorten the times down to about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And so you answer the question that one of your Claudes is asking you about one project, and that starts going, and you're just sitting there watching it, and then you get the pop-up notification that says another Claude in another tab is asking you another question about a completely different it gives you a weird kind of feeling behind the eyes in your brain where you're just like, I'm not supposed to do this.
Something that Adele Carpenter has talked about. Adele has a fantastic talk about, because Adele used to work as a civil engineer before getting into tech, and has, worked in industries that most of us are like, oh, really? People do that? And has a great talk about parallels with aviation. And one of the big challenges they had, as aircraft became more and more automated, pilots were getting burned out from not flying the aeroplane, because they're like, well, it used to be that we were concentrating on flying the whole time, and so when you were flying, and when something was happening, when you're landing, when you're navigating, whatever, and the rest of the time you're still flying. Like, you are still, there is this active kind of very low level feedback loop between you and the aeroplane, and you feel it through the control surfaces if something isn't quite right. And now they want us to sit in a chair for 11 hours while the aircraft flies itself, but be ready to respond at any second if something goes beep or a light comes on or anything like that. And, automation supervision is, just looking, there's a couple of things in the comments. Mizaza says, working in plan mode. I don't know what plan mode is. So
that's what we're going to do tomorrow.
I have been using Claude now for 40 minutes in my life. This is literally, I pinged Rendle and went, I need someone to show me how all this stuff works, because I did something else for 3 months, and now the entire industry has left me behind, and I need to get back up to speed with it all and figure out how much of it is applicable to the sort of things that I'm working on. So yeah, tomorrow we got a bunch of scenarios that we want to plow through. The one for today is deliberately chosen as something that I know what the good solution to this, or I think I know what a good solution to this would look like. There is an open question, of course, about if code is just a completely ephemeral side effect of line go up, money in bank. Does it matter if the code's shit or not, as long as it line go up? Which is probably a conversation for another time, because I'm looking at this code and I'm like, that's not good, but it probably works, but it's not good. But FTS 1293 says, Jesus Christ, are you moving along or not? Hey,
I think he wants you.
Our stream.
He wants you to say yes.
Yes. Our stream, we do it at our own pace. You don't like it, you can go and find it or do your own stream. Building schedule grid razor page. Yeah, that looks
looks like
me
a
with
razor
a
page.
wank stick. It did it with a table.
Yes.
No. Let's not teach the AIs the stereotype that .NET developers are all remedial when it comes to front end, and the only thing they know about is tables. We have CSS grid now.
You have chosen.
I know that's in the training data. I don't care. We can dream of a better world.
It's that you've asked it to display a schedule grid.
Yeah.
And it is tabular data, I think, is my point.
It's not tabular though. It's probably a masonry layout if it's anything. But do you want to overwrite site?
I mean, yeah, if you
boom, all right.
If you want one of those things that kind of will account for a double length session or a 2-hour workshop or whatever, then yes.
Yeah.
But you can come back to it and you can make it do all these things.
Do you want to start process minus file path.net? What a convoluted way of running .NET. But yeah, I guess that's not going to hurt anybody.
No.
All right.
There you go. That is your functioning website.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, and now you can use this as a starting point, and you can tell it what you want to change.
Okay. So right, this is the point where my experience would suggest, right, put the auto code generation tool away now because the project has been scaffolded, and at this point you're on your own. And that's not how it works anymore, is it?
No, not at all.
Right. Yeah, fine, run that. Okay. It looks like this, but I want it to look like that.
Oh God, never accept the automatic things unless they are OPSX/:apply. Oh dear.
Oh, interesting. It looks like the screenshots didn't come through. Could you attach them?
So yes, Claude, obviously it's a vision capable model, and so you can take a screenshot. I think you can paste them into the thing.
We are going to do some incredibly ad hoc, so I'm going to use Snagit for this because Snagit is great. We are going to, we don't want the restaurant. So this is exactly the kind of low fidelity, hack the thing around that, no, hang on. No, right, delete that, flatten that. I want to grab that, paste that in here, but make that full width and flatten that and grab that lot and move that lot over here. What I'm really curious about here is it going to be good enough to notice that some of this is just artifacts from hacking up a screenshot in a hurry? Or is it going to try to replicate like the sort of weird sub-pixel Shift-Control-T? That's the one I want. So that should be over there. Those should sort of vaguely line up like that. Shift-Control-T on that. Grab that, drop that in there. Full width on there. Flatten that down. Aiden's keynote should span the whole width of the thing. Yes, this is absolutely how I do all of my important professional design work. Yes. Yeah, that's fine. That should be in the middle. Let's see if it can cope with putting that in the middle. Come on. What? I think I just broke Snagit. Oh, no, there we go. That's fine. So, Phil, we want to grab that and drop that into there. And let's make those bits purple because purple's good. And all right. So, save that. d/Claude demo hack mockup.png.
Okay.
And
so, if you now switch back to Claude.
Yeah. Which is there.
So you can now type @ and then mock up, whatever you called it. There you go. You get autocomplete, and that just select that, and then it'll be able to load that file.
Okay.
This will be interesting. I've not done much with front-end stuff.
Yeah.
The last thing I did front-endy was that PowerPoint karaoke app that I vibe coded with Gemini last year. So there you go. It's picked it out. Purple table header, not dark navy. Session titles in purple. Not dark blue. So yeah, there we go.
All right. What is the so I'm thinking that every time it does anything, it should be pushing anything it just did into a Git repo, so that you can always go, no, roll that back to what it looked like a moment ago. That just actually made it worse.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Is that a thing?
So it is. We can make it do that. Let's talk about how to do that. So apart from anything else, my workflow for this, I always have my text editor running open in the same directory. And by text editor, I'm on Mac, so I'm using Z, but VS Code. So not like Visual Studio or Rider or anything like that. There's no need to be running a heavyweight IDE when Claude is doing all the work.
Hang on.
So
all right, that's quite clever. It has detected that the previous instance is still running, and it's done it by grepping the NetTCP connection to see the process IDs of the things that are,
Yes, it's quite good at PowerShell and Bash and all that sort of thing. Sometimes, certainly on Mac, it tries to use a tool that's not installed by default. And then it goes, oh, can you just, if you could just exit out and run brew install whatever and then restart and resume the session, then we can do this.
So that's interesting. It's picked up the color changes. Keynote does not stretch across the rooms. The restaurant is still there, despite having been removed in the screenshot.
Yes. So yeah, you know, it's not done a bad job. It's picked up sort of visual changes I think what people use a lot more with that kind of mode is things like Figma or whatever design mock-ups. And they can go, just make it look like this Figma mock-up that one of our designers sent me.
Let's set up the Git thing.
Right. So run /init.
Yep.
That's it. And then, open up this directory in VS Code or Notepad++ or whatever you prefer.
Code. No, the Claude demo hack. Okay.
So,
nope, that's trying to open a file. I want to open a folder. Okay.
Okay. All right, and then go just back into Claude and say yes. Let it create its Claude.md. Okay. And now you can. Where the hell has it just put that?
Oh, it's inside the session I scheduled.
It's inside there. Okay, move it to the root.
Yeah, okay. Yes. Okay.
And then, so let's take a look at what's in Claude.md now.
All right. Let me kill the chat window. Okay. Preview. Yep.
Okay. So this is where you put the basic instructions. You have there are multiple ways to customize Claude by default. So when you run Claude, it will automatically read Claude.md. And that can tell it kind of the rules, the coding standards you're using, all that sort of thing. If you run /init inside Claude in an empty directory, it will not make any assumptions about sort of tech stack and all that sort of stuff, and it will probably ask you questions. It's been a while since I've done that. But because you've done it in something that is clearly a .NET project, it's kind of put in the information that it knows about. So now, if you exit Claude and start it again, it will load this. It won't remember all the previous session stuff. You don't need the /resume, but it will read the Claude.md, and so it will then know what it's talking about. There's also the other option, or one of the other ways you can do this is with system prompts.
Yeah.
So Claude has a default system prompt that basically goes, "You're a useful, helpful developer's sidekick," or whatever. You know, who knows what the default system prompt says. You can override that, and you can say, here is your system prompt. And one of the things I talk about in my talk and make a big deal of is running Claude with --system-prompt-file and loading different system prompts for different roles. And I generally break that down into a requirements gathering role, which I call requirements analyst, but it's like a business analyst or a customer, whatever. And then an analyst who creates, and then it uses that personality. You go through the whole, what is this project? What do you want to do? All this sort of stuff. And then you can save that into a requirements document that you then load up at the analyst personality, and you go, here's the requirements document, ask me questions about the technical implementation and everything, and then output a spec. And then you have a developer personality that implements the spec and a QA personality that writes automated tests and all that sort of thing. And so, if you're doing this kind of all-in-one thing, then you put stuff into Claude.md. I think Claude will also, there are kind of standards emerging around this. I think you can also call it agents.md, and I think Claude will pick that up. There are people who use different agents in the same project. So you might be running Claude and Gemini or OpenCode or whatever, or AMP, which is an interesting one. And so, yes, agents.md is the kind of cross-platform standard name. But if you're just using Claude, then Claude.md makes it quite clear. So in here, you can edit this manually to say, I want you to use Git-based workflow with a, every time we make a change, you should create a branch, we commit to that branch, then when I tell you I'm happy, we merge that branch back into main.
Okay.
Literally
so just by putting stuff in the markdown file.
Well, no, this is the thing. What I do is I tell Claude to add that to Claude.md.
Okay.
So explain it in the way that I just did. So like add a Git workflow.
Please implement every feature or change in a Git branch. Commit changes to the branch and ask me when it's time to merge them.
Yes. Okay, so that's basically creating a Git repo.
Yep.
Yeah. See, that's clever. It caught that.
Yep. Yep. Create the Git ignore. That's good. Yes.
Okay, so this is writing memory. So if you go back to your VS Code instance.
How's that? I don't know if you folks can see it. I just had a moment of my eyes are right. It is syntax highlighted wit in lavender for some.
Yeah.
And the ignore of Git ignore is purple, and so is okay. I guess all right.
Who knows? It has reasons.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, switch over to VS Code.
Yep.
So Claude.md, it hasn't put anything in there about it. If you go up to the top, there's a .claude directory.
Yep.
Yep. And it hasn't put it in there either. So it's hiding somewhere. I think where it's actually hiding is in Claude, in your account. Okay. So if you go back to Claude and say, add those Git instructions to @claude.md, or yeah, you can ask it that.
Memory.md.
Yes.
Does that exist?
Is there a memory directory?
No.
Who knows then? Oh no, hang on. So if you look, it says it's in C:\_Dylan/users/Claude/. So yes.
So it's workstation persistent, not project persistent.
Yes. Yeah. So yes, putting it into saying, can you write that to memory, is occasionally useful, but it's much more useful to explicitly tell it to put these instructions and things into files Claude.md or whatever.
The temptation to type, "Don't you know the master branch name is racist?"
It just used the default.
Yeah.
When's the last time you updated Git?
Well, this computer is only 4 months old.
Okay.
So the main has been the default for a long, long while.
Yes. But, interesting.
Yeah.
So it's created the Git repository inside session iSchedule rather than in the current directory.
Why do you think that it should be called master?
It does that sometimes. Okay, that's interesting. Is this because you're asking it kind of complicated ethics
No,
questions?
it's probably because I put single quotes around that.
No, I don't think it will be. Just type something, just put, "Are you okay?" Yeah, no. I think exit or /exit. Yeah, there you go. Interesting. Looks like a copy-paste glitch on your end. So yes, there you go. So now you can just say yes, and it will change it to main for you. Sometimes it does this. It very cleverly remembers other places where that will have an impact. Yeah. Other times it does not.
Yeah. Right.
It's got the wrong end of that stick, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Ask it, you can ask it why it's getting API 500 errors. No, so this is where you do the no and tell Claude what to do differently. Your own Claude API. Oh yes, someone is desperately trying. There we go. Oh, elevated errors. A fix has been implemented and we are monitoring the results.
That was an hour ago.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, there you go. You now have a Git repo that it's created, and the branch is called main, and all this sort of stuff.
Of course, this isn't actually a terminal, is it?
Yeah, that throws me a lot. Yeah, you can either ask it to run a bash command, or you can just tab out to a separate tab.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So let me take a quick look. Okay. Right, I'm going to try one more thing for today's session, just because I'm curious to see what happens. Render the schedule. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, yep. It's put a / in the branch name.
As it should.
Does it? Is that a thing we do?
That's a fairly standard thing. A lot of Git UIs, I believe GitHub included, will then show these as folders. So you can see branches in like pseudo folders.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's it also means that when you're searching in the branch search, if you know it's a fix or a feature or a bug or whatever.
Neat. I don't think I've ever had enough branches open that I needed folders for them before, but yeah, all right.
Yes. So I haven't got to the point of doing this yet, but you will. We will eventually get to the point where we're using Git work trees.
Mm-hmm.
He probably talked to Whitney about this. I'm sure he's done it. And Heather and Ben might have done it as well. Anyone in chat using work trees with Claude and sub-agents? But yes, you get to a thing, the get shit done extension, whatever it is, that I have been using, spawns lots and lots and lots of sub-agents, which are all individual instances of Claude. And you can tell it to use Git work trees. So you've got multiple versions of or multiple branches all kind of active at the same time and different agents working on different bits of your massive solution. And yeah, you can just go and watch a couple of episodes of Stranger Things and come back every now and then to check on them. Be interested to see what this looks like when it's finished here.
So am I. Okay.
I don't think it's running.
Yeah, but it doesn't know that. Of course, it doesn't know anything. It is a vector database predicting tokens.
Okay. Yeah, that's done that.
Let me dock that to the right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely using grid. Amy would be proud. So Nikola Jovanovic joined 15 minutes ago, didn't watch the intro, wondering why .NET. Because we're .NET programmers.
Yeah.
And because I think the existing system that this is supposed to become part of, it's kind of like .NET based.
Why .NET? I mean, primarily because very seldom does the .NET ecosystem make me want to cry and hit things, which is a frequent experience when I'm doing work with Node.js and the NPM package ecosystem. It's good. It's compiled. It's fast. It's blisteringly quick. You can build native binaries for Windows, Linux, Mac OS, and WebAssembly. It's got a lot of very, very, very clever people who work at Microsoft who get paid enough money that they don't have to worry about anything other than making .NET really good. And yeah, I've been using it since it was invented. And
I think one of my favorite things. One of my favorite things with the native bit is you can create a Docker image almost from scratch.
Yeah.
You could sort of build it for either a traditional Linux or a muzzle Linux.
Yeah.
And then you could literally just take that binary and drop it into like an Ubuntu Tiny or whatever they call the minimal containers. Make sure it's got like libssl and libcurl and stuff that you might need. And that's it. You have a tiny, tiny little Docker image which starts in milliseconds.
Yeah, I've got in one of my workshops, we do building .NET web APIs and stuff, and using native compilation, targeting Linux, and putting it on the smallest Docker container. I think I got it down to I wanted to see if you could get it on a floppy disk, and you can't. But you can get it down to about 6 megabytes, and it starts in less than 100 milliseconds from cold. Like, hey, turn on that container, and it's like, oh yeah, it's accepting requests now, which is just fantastic.
Oh yeah. Currently, I'm looking at the support matrix for ASP.NET Core and native AOT. Minimal APIs are partially supported. MVC and Blazor Server are not supported. SignalR is partially supported.
Yeah.
And then there are some other, so Session and SPA, I assume that's like single page applications. It's written with a capital S and lowercase pa. So yes.
Well, they're clearly referring to the famous Formula One circuit in Belgium.
Yes, but yes, there's an ongoing process to put more and more of everything into source generators, and once things have gone into source generators.
No, a lot of I'm one of those, I guess, fairly unusual people who, despite being, predominantly most of the code I've written in my life has been on .NET. I get invited to events that are web and front end and Java and Node.js, and it constantly amazes me that once you get outside of the .NET community, for want of a better word, so many people still think that it's a very expensive thing from Microsoft that only runs on Windows, that you have to work in a bank to use it. Which has not been the case for over a decade now. But, I could also give you the addresses of 100 .NET developers who think that Java's a pile of crap because applets don't work, and which is also not true. Hasn't been, It's this thing, people, they unless it's the thing you are actually driving every day, or the tool that you work with whenever you have to solve a problem. A lot of us have dabbled with something at some point in our career, formed a set of conclusions about it, and then not revisited those conclusions. The talk I had at NDC a couple of weeks ago was all about, look, this is all the stuff that they've added to CSS since you stopped looking at it. And the number of people who have said to me, holy crap, like I had no idea that it could do all of those things. Right, what do we got? Let's see, does that work?
There you go. It has removed the restaurant and made the keynote full width.
Yeah.
And it has done it in such a way that the title for it is centered.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It gets into that point now where it will, I believe it will be faster for me to now edit this in a code editor to make it look the way I want than it will to try to explain by typing English into a terminal.
Yes.
Yeah.
There certainly does come a point.
So I try one more thing. First of all, let me take a look and see what it's got on the branches here. Okay, so we've got a. Oh, that's it. So it's branched off a branch. So the service rooms is now a branch off the CSS grid, which is a branch off of main. Yeah. Merge the things. Yeah. Okay, instead of parsing date times from strings, please add noda time, deserialize the JSON response into noda time objects and format on output.
Interesting. Yes, Dark Horse, we are vibing. Please do not let the chat descend into JVM versus .NET, though. JVM, they have done some really cool stuff. Virtual threads. See, this is an interesting thing. Java's added these, what are they called? Green threads or something?
Yeah.
They're like lightweight fibers or whatever. And I know that David Fowler and some of the other people on the .NET team looked at doing a similar thing in .NET, and it was worse than just using default standard operating system threads and a thread pool and everything else. And so that's why they didn't do it in .NET.
I mean, there's a session that Mads Thorsen did at. We did a community event at NDC London last year, so 2025, and it was a great session. It was basically like, look, I don't have a bunch of slides for this. This is all the ideas we've got for what .NET might look like later this year in November.
I saw him do that at Sweatug, I think.
Yeah.
Around the same time.
Yeah, just a really, really interesting. And one of the things that I always, find fascinating about that level of insight is realizing that at the heart of .NET and Java, there are a handful of just fundamental incompatibilities that mean you can do things you can add features to the Java language and the JVM that in .NET would be so syntactically convoluted as to basically be unusable, and vice versa. Because there was a thing, I'm trying to remember, there's something to do with generics and like runtime introspection over closed generics, which is something that .NET goes, oh yeah, so one of those, and Java can't do, if I'm remembering this correctly, because it's like, no, that infer type erasure is the name of the thing which makes it impossible. And they're like,
reified generics.
Yes, reified generics. And they're like, and if we had a time machine and we went back to 1995 when they were designing the fundamental architecture of the JVM, we could be like, look, in 30 years, this will be a problem. But nobody had any idea. Yeah. You know, no one was even thinking about generics for another 10, 15 years after that in either camp. Do I want to proceed?
The only reason we got them in .NET was Don Sign.
Yeah.
Because he needed them for F#, and because he wanted proper reified generics. You can't do that in language. You have to do it in the runtime.
Yeah.
And he was kind of like, well, I'll implement them for you. So the F#
it is
team.
The other thing I think is constantly delightful is the amount of stuff that you can get C# to do without modifying the .NET runtime. Because it's like, oh yeah, well, we'll translate it from this thing into that thing when it gets compiled. Right, what do we got?
So it's changed it to local date time on all the...
That is a incredibly useless diff.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, all right, let's bang that and then have a look at it in what's name? Yeah, go on. Yep. Have you used Node at time very much?
I used it a few times on projects back in the day. I haven't used it recently.
I mean, .NET with date only and time only has got a lot better, and SQL Server likewise. But Node at time was just such a breath of fresh air compared to banging your head against the wall. For things like, oh yeah, it starts at 9 o'clock on Friday, and you're like, yeah, and you know, to a human, you're like, well, obviously that's 9 o'clock on Friday in Australia, in Sydney, because the event is in Australia, in Sydney. And .NET is like, no, 9 o'clock on Friday could be anywhere. You're going to need to specify this every time, and doesn't have an explicit notion of this is a date that makes sense to somebody in the right place, but we are not going to make any assumptions about who that person is or where they are. That is your problem.
Yes.
So I guess
it's so weird seeing the PowerShell, the actual PowerShell commands, like the verb-noun thing, because I've just relied on the fact that PowerShell has pretty good aliases that map to the Unix name for the same thing.
This is a profoundly convoluted way of running PowerShell, but
yes, it really is.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need PowerShell minus command. You can just do CD. That works. It's fine. But
I think it's because it's using the semicolons.
Yeah.
Because it's doing multiple things in one go.
I suspect that I mean, it looks to me like it's got the syntax of the prediction. It's like the way sort of German speakers speak English. It's putting the tokens that mean the right thing in the places where they would go according to a different lexical structure, because the structure, I'm guessing, is trained on Bash. And so it knows how to translate bits of Bash into PowerShell, but it doesn't have idiomatic autocomplete for the entire PowerShell statement.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So if you copy and paste that into the thing, that's it. Just it'll work out that you're not happy because of that error.
And presumably, if we plugged in something like Playwright, which I think Stu mentioned in the chat,
yes,
it could look at it itself and go, "Oh, those words are bad words."
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, on that subject, there are multiple ways that it can interact with Playwright.
Yeah, go on.
But so outside of Claude, if you exited, you could run that Claude MCP add Playwright npx at playwright/mcp at latest. And that would then, Claude would then magically know how to use Playwright.
All right. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
I fixed it.
You've used 94% of. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, so just say yes quickly, and and we'll just. I want to show you one more thing before we finish for the day.
Yeah.
All right. So just now run /context. So that gives you a lovely kind of graphical representation of the context that you've currently used. So you can see there that you've got 104 tokens are the messages. So that's what you have typed in and what Claude has typed out. All of that, everything it said, everything you've said, all the little purple bits there, that's the kind of interactions and the outputs and all this sort of stuff. It's also things like all the outputs from when it's run a command, that kind of stuff. The system prompt is 3,500 tokens. That's what it started with. System tools, things that are built in that allow it to use bash and all this sort of stuff, that's 16,000 tokens. Memory files is what it wrote into that at memory.md. I don't think we have any skills.
No.
But yes, so you can, when it says you've used 94%, where did it say that?
I got a little flash just at the bottom of the window saying you've used 74%, which that's not 74, that's 62, but we know they can't do maths.
Yes. No. But also, we are now at that point where you sort of go 120,000. This is when you get context rot setting in.
There, so now at the bottom it says
there you go. You can
95%.
Yes, I think 95. It might be of your allowance, rather than so it's what you're allowed to use in this particular session before it says you've used it up. You have to come back later. So it's an excellent time to stop. 2 hours with a single session using Sonnet feels about right. That's what I used to get.
Yeah.
But yes, and honestly, somebody give me work to do. Somebody or money, just give me money. That would work as well.
Yeah.
Because I. Thank you, Stuart. I love you too. Yes, you did waste a token with that. Okay.
So to all the folks saying, have a look at this. There are nice prompts and skills and agents. I don't know what a skill is. I don't know what an agent is. I have no idea what awesome means in this context.
We're going to do this again tomorrow, and I'm going to start introducing Dylan to some of this sort of stuff.
Yeah, this is very much a learning curve from scratch. Because, as I said at the beginning, my introduction to this is Copilot showed up in Visual Studio Code one day, and when I pressed tab, sometimes it would fill in the next line of code and it would get it right.
Yes.
But yes, all of the people in the chat with throwing information at me based on you having done this for 6 months, I don't need it yet. I have no idea what the words mean, and I don't care, and you are not articulating to me how what you are telling me will make me any happier. We will get there, but we are not going to get there today. Right, we'll get there tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to get it to build a Windows desktop application that plays video and audio and does all kinds of things. And,
a Windows desktop application?
Yeah.
Why a Windows desktop application?
Because otherwise I'd have to use something that can compile code for Mac or Linux.
It's just so like a Mac then?
Yes. Well, I can't use my Mac because the hard drive isn't big enough. I'm
spending that's a very good point, yes.
10 minutes a day at the moment finding stuff I can delete so I have enough room to get my work done. And honestly, whoever decided that the hard drive in the MacBook Pro was going to be soldered to the main board, I wish them pestilence of 1,000 squirrels in a dumpster. Because,
Oh no, Tim.
Yes. Anyway.
Yes, you should talk to your boss about getting a bigger MacBook. The only reason I'm kind of like going Windows.
My boss doesn't have any money because AI has ripped the arse out of the training market because no one is investing in developers because AI will be able to do all that. So apart from that, it's all grand.
Yes. But no, it's going to be fun with the Windows audio drivers, trying to get it to play synchronized stuff.
This is the reason why I want to do this, is because it's something I have very, very specific requirements in mind for what it should look like and how it should work, and almost no experience of writing the kind of low-level code that makes it happen. But I know Windows can do it because I've seen all the bits working. So I'm very curious to see how far we get. And that will be far more akin to a vibe coded. I have no idea what this program even does, but I know it solves my problem. So let's see what happens with it. So yeah, we're going to do that tomorrow.
Cool.
All right.
Let's pick it up tomorrow.
Cool. Thank you for tuning in, folks. That was fun. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.
See you next time.